And then we got the coolest thing ever, where the assistant manager and she gave us basically a personal history of all of the items, physically going through them, not just having them on display. The actual Gone with the Wind Museum in Marietta, Georgia, including some different books, some sequel books, some displays of actual costumes used, original artwork, original posters, letters written back and forth. It was pretty incredible to see. I believe.
All right, Georgia, final day. This day's all about me and where I want to go. The shirt should be an indicator. First stop, interesting spot for us here. Place I didn't get to go to last time. Some of the stuff isn't up anymore. Hold on, let me spin it around. So what we're looking at here is the field, the exterior for the school sometimes, for the Vampire Diaries. I don't know if we can get in there anyway, probably not, but that's okay. But we got the football field, we got the bleachers. From what I read, eventually they stopped filming here for exteriors for parking lot scenes, and they used the parking lot at the studio in, I believe it's pronounced Decatur, where they filmed a lot of the exterior things. Or I'm sorry, the interior things. A lot of any classroom scenes or any of that where they built sets. So obviously it's closed. But over there we see the track for like the track and field, things like that. So, if I walk all the way friggin' around, I could probably get there. But it's not a big deal. But yeah, this is the spot for a lot of the early ones, a lot of the early episodes, where it would be Stefan going out for football and Elena and Caroline cheerleading and Bonnie not being there for cheerleading practice, or being there and Elena not, or Caroline not, or whatever. Filmed here. And it's about, I want to say 30, 40 minutes outside of Covington. Conyers, Covington. So yeah, this is definitely one of those, like, you gotta know to know sort of ones. It is a Sunday as we're recording this, so as we're doing this day, so no school, no potential for anything like that. But hold on a second. So here you can see, should be able to see the track for the track and field around the perimeter of the football field there. And like I said, so it had been where there was stuff for the school, you know, home of the insert sports team here sort of thing. But it looks like unless I go all the way around to the other side, and I don't necessarily want to do that, doesn't look like I can get in, but that's okay. We don't necessarily have to. So this is stop number 1 on our final full day here in Georgia. I'm excited to see some of the places that I didn't get to see last time and some of the places that I did get to see last time again, because they're really cool to be able to actually go to places from some of your favorite shows. It's one of the things that I like doing. Anybody who's known me for a long time knows that it's one of the reasons that I like going to Hawaii, because I like seeing where things from Lost were filmed, and I like coming here. We went to North Carolina and we got to see some places from one of our favorite shows there. So this is going to be a really fun day, I think, going to see some places. And again, some that I haven't gotten to see previously, or even some that were not necessarily accessible last time. So it's a good start to the day. Okay, so our next stop is the Salvatore Boarding School, featured at the end of the originals and into the series Legacies. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous location. So the backstory is that the house that was originally used for the Salvatore house was demolished at a certain point in real life. And so when they needed more exteriors for the spin-off series, they found this and they just decided to say that it was rebuilt, and it's the Salvatore Boarding School for the young and gifted, and it's basically like an X-Men type school for the characters and creatures and things from the Vampire Diaries. Okay, so now we're in Conyers, which it's Georgia's French Quarter. It was used for a good portion of the originals, exteriors and things, because as you'll see in just a moment, it straight up looks like New Orleans. Sirens going on right now, but we're gonna get some stuff from the show as well as some other interesting spots and sights and things like that. So we'll take a look at some things in just a moment here. Okay, so the last time we were here, we went to this ice cream place. Very good ice cream. We ended up finding and meeting somebody that was actually from our area, so that was kind of weird and interesting. And they told us, the owner or the manager or whatever he was had some pictures and some signatures and things like that, and he told us, I was like, hey, do you have any stories, whatever, and he told us this really interesting story about how the producer, one of the big producers, when they were starting to set up filming for here, they said, they gave a card and they said, this card is for anyone that's part of the show. And it was, how do you know? Well, you'll know because they're wearing like walkie pieces and things like that. This is also to cover anybody who may not be such a fan of what we're doing because we're inconveniencing them or whatever. Put their stuff also on our tab. And he said that there were 2 little old ladies who complained because the production was taking over the town and it was a big to-do, whatever. And then when they found out that their whatever was covered, they changed their tunes very quickly. And so I thought that was a really funny story to hear from the man. And so that's one of the reasons that we remember this ice cream place.
By the end of our trip that day, we definitely went back to that ice cream place, got a couple pictures of some other things. As we move down the street, one of the bars on this street. This is actually called Commercial Street, by the way, because I would assume because there's so much filming that has happened here. But the bar that we will talk about in just a moment was blasting music, and I don't mind. It was Led Zeppelin, but I also can't use that because of copyright purposes. So I'm doing a voiceover here as you start to see some of the buildings that very much look like New Orleans, the French Quarter, and if you're a fan of the originals, it not only gives those vibes, but it actually is those buildings. They would often repurpose them, film them from different angles, things like that, because cover up the signs of the actual businesses for the most part, things like that, because this, it's Georgia's French Quarter. That's actually what they call this particular part of Conyers. We ended up going here to the Celtic Tavern, the exterior and a brief bit of the interior of which was used in the originals as Gillespie's Pub. The Brothers Bond bourbon by the two guys from the Vampire Diaries is sold very heavily here. They do syringe shots as well. The inside, it's very sports, Irish pub. It was just an overall good vibe. Literally right across the street was those two buildings. Got some pictures of those, and it was just it was a very nice time. The town, the street was very quiet. Mom and Tommy and I got to sit. There was pretty much nobody in the bar. The food was wonderful. They didn't have what I specifically wanted, but they ended up making it a little bit better for me. It was absolutely great. You see the sign outside of from the pub within the show, and then literally right across the street was that view, and I was able to stand here in the middle of the street, and arguably no traffic would come by, anything like that. And now you're just going to see kind of some video footage, maybe some pictures interspersed of just some various things up and down Commercial Street here in Conyers from our trip that day. Again, the audio, I spoke in a couple places, but the audio really taken out just because of the music that was playing in the town. But some cool artwork on the sides of buildings. Again, the buildings made to look very much like the French Quarter, which from my understanding was from before the originals, because other things have been filmed here, just like other things were filmed in Covington. We will be covering Covington in the next video. But so yeah, here's just some stuff down the street there. You'll see pictures and video of it in a moment. Was the outside of Rousseau's in the show. So I feel like I have to mention it here. I think I mentioned it already, but it also may have been in some of the audio that I had to cut due to the potential of copyrighted music. Last time we were here, there was a convention going on, and there was food trucks and all sorts of street things going on that getting in front of half of these buildings or more than was almost impossible. So it was lovely to be able to go and do that. And you're actually going to hear me talk about the last time we were here in this little bit coming up.
Turn this corner, walk down this way a little bit, we're gonna come upon an alleyway that was used quite a bit in the show. And I remember the last time we were here, there was still like stands all along the way, but there had been, we'll see if it's still here. They probably put it out because there was stuff all along the way, but there had been quite a cool thing down here. Down this alley, there was a casket right about here. It's obviously not there. I'm wondering now if it was part of the display that somebody had set up or something like that, but it's just interesting that that's because this alleyway was used in quite a bit of stuff. All right, so there's me with
after we turn back around that corner, go across the street to the sandwich shop that again was the exterior for Rousseau's, we walk down over to the next street over, and you'll see here that there is what appears to be another train station. And this is the visitor center. Now, back a little bit, I forgot to point it out when we were there. The voodoo shop was actually used in the show as well. I believe I had a picture of it up there, and I forgot to mention it. We did end up going in there, and we ended up going into the gelato place next to the Celtic Tavern, and you'll see a little bit of that towards the end here. But we have the backside of some of the houses. We have the train station, which is the visitor center. It was closed because it was Sunday. Down the way, we have some of the train tracks, which were used for some exterior scenes in the show as well. There's also a plaque that Mom read to Tommy. We actually read it last time we were there as well, which talked about the fact that at this site there was some activity with regards to the Civil War. So if you want to go back, pause that and read it. I did go up onto the platform here, got a little bit of footage down of the train tracks itself, a little bit of footage down the way, and then we're mostly gonna end with just some pictures of the in between the buildings from other angles, wide shots of the street. There was a park that they were in the process of building when we went here about 2 years ago, and they're supposed to be finishing it. They say it's really going to be getting started, but they're going to be working on it more into the upcoming year of 2026 as this was recorded. We did go to the ice cream shop that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. We had some wonderful ice cream, some wonderful conversation once again with the owner. Almost none of it actually based around anything vampire related this time. It was mostly just life and travels and things like that, so that was really cool. And then, as I said, we did go into the gelato place because they had some merchandise and some fan art and things like that with regards to the originals, and that's really what you'll see here to close out the video. We also, after this, we went back to our hotel. We were all feeling a little exhausted, a little overwhelmed, and so that was really, other than a dinner, which I believe was just like a quick, like a Burger King or something like that, just something super quick. We went to bed early that night because we knew we were checking out of our hotel, doing some other things in Covington, which will be in the next video, and then on our way to our next destination. So you don't want to miss what comes next in the next video. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Tune back in for the next one. Thank you.